Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sadel van Grenen, aka Mr. VG, and I am at the last question on financial maths in this series, in this specific chapter. Now, this is a bit of a difficult question, and I encourage you to lean in to try it yourself first. Remember, that's always number one. Don't do the oh yes method and look through the video and go, oh yes, I know how to do this. Oh yes, no, it's fine. Or oh yes. No. Dig in, dive in, and try it yourself. Here's the specific question that came out of an IEB paper. Now I'm saying IEB, please, your Department of Education kids, don't go and say, no, they'll never ask this. You have no idea. So hit the pause button, try this yourself, and then you look at the rest of the video. So if I look at this question A, so the first one says, a company sold shares at a fixed price of R875.50 per share over 5 years. A minimum guaranteed interest rate earned over the 5-year period is 6.7% per annum compounded quarterly. Colleen purchased 10 shares every quarter over the 5-year period. Her first purchase was at the end of the first quarter. Determine the percentage minimum profit on the total cost of shares bought at the end of the 5-year period. Oh my goodness. Let's analyze this. So much information. So let's see how we approach this sum. First of all, we've got N being 5 years. We've got the share price of 875.50. And we've got a fixed interest rate of 6.7% per annum compounded quarterly. Great. But now, every quarter, she purchases 10 shares. So that means, if I look at it as if it is an annuity, every quarter there's 10 shares being bought, as if it is an investment, because it actually is an investment. When do I want the payout? Well, I want to buy the 8,750 Rand and times 10 because I'm going to buy 10 of them every quarter. I'm going to get that payout at the end. So I'm going to use the future value. Now, how many quarters are there going to be? That's important. The 5 times 4 equal to 20. That's how many quarters there are. Now, if you go left, you'll see there's a little tick mark there at the end of the first quarter. That tick is simply there to tell me it's a normal, straightforward annuity. Because remember, annuities always work at the end of the first term. So, the question is now determine the percentage minimum profit on the total cost of shares. Okay, so if I analyze this, profit is always income minus expenses. What's going to be my income? Well, that's going to be the future value. The expenses is going to be the actual cost of the shares, as if there was no interest, just how much it costs. So let's break this down even further. Our future value, we can use the future value formula because it is an annuity and I want the value at the end of 5 years. So this means the future value is 205,973 Rand and 49 cents. So that would be the value including the minimum guaranteed interest rate. But what is the cost of the shares? Well, I'm going to buy 20 sets of shares. Remember, there's 5 years and I buy every quarter, so 20 sets of shares. And every set costs 8,755 Rand. You could also see it as how many shares there's bought in total, which is 200. And I times that per share, and you get exactly the same value. Which means the profit, which is our income minus the expense, is going to be that 205,000 Rand minus the 175,000. And this gives me a total profit of 30,873 Rand and 49 cents. But please, please, please be careful. This is not the final question. The question actually says percentage profit. Now, how do I calculate percentage profit? Now, percentage profit is going to be the profit over the cost. So in other words, the 30,873 Rand and 49 cents over how much it actually cost them. So 175,100. But now, let us not forget we've got to times by 100%. If I times it by that 100%, then I get that 17.63%. Yo, what a question. I think that you understand why I said this was a toughie. I encourage you to try this again. I haven't seen a difficult question like this in an exam paper easily being asked. But it's not saying it won't be there. So please be careful. The B part says, now Colleen took a loan of 300,000. At the beginning of the same year, she bought her first 10 shares and paid back the loan through monthly payments. Monthly payments, annuity. It's a loan, so it's the value at the beginning. So it's a p-value. So the p-value is 300,000. It is an annuity, a normal annuity. It even says there that a repayment is made at the end of January, so it's a normal annuity. So the interest rate is 9.5% over 12, and it says it's over 15 years, so there's going to be 180 monthly payments. So the question is, if she sold her shares at the end of 5 years, based on the minimum interest rate, would she be able to do the balance of the loan? Now, here's now a difficult question. Balance of a loan. That means I need how much she repays every month. Because whether I use the A minus F formula or I use the present value formula, I need to know how much she actually repays every month. That is a big issue. So this sum is now all of a sudden split into two parts. There's first of all, I've got to calculate X. And if only when I've got X, then can I go and calculate the balance outstanding. So let's go and calculate X. So I'm going to take that 300,000 as if it is a full loan, and I'm going to calculate X. Once I've calculated X there, I get X to be 3,132 Rand and 67 cents approximately. So that is how much she repays every month. Why do I need that? Because the balance outstanding, I'm going to use the p-value, and in this case, I'm going to use the p because I know that there's 120 exact payments that's missing. Why 120? because they say after 5 years. So there's still 10 years left in her 15-year loan. So I'm going to go to my formula. So I've got N to be that negative 120 in total. So my balance outstanding is 242,096 Rand and 53 cents. I'm just going to quickly stop the bus here and say, whoa, man, what a question. Oh my goodness. But I still haven't answered the question. The question is, if I sell my shares, will I be able to repay? Let me go back to the previous slide. The previous slide says I would get back 205,000 Rand and 973.49 if I sell all of my shares at the minimum rate, the minimum interest rate. Now, if I go right up to the end, I still owe 242,000 Rand. Will I be able to repay? No, I won't. There's still about 37,000 Rand plus minus that I cannot pay by this. Ladies and gentlemen, what a gorgeous exam question. Definitely the most difficult one I've seen in the past 5 to 10 years. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I encourage you, if you struggled with this one, that's normal. It was a difficult one, but go and analyze again. See why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. Don't just go and say, I can never do this. If you think correctly, if your mind is aligned correctly, you can do it. But look at my way of analyzing these questions. This is Sarel van Greenen signing out from our last video on financial mathematics, grade 12s. Good luck. Give it wings and have a beautiful rest of your day. Cheers.